Now, I understand that we all F weird. However, when it comes to being kinky, there are two types of people. The lovely, the homesteaded couple that just happens to get freaky behind doors where it should be. And then there are the freaks that bring that shit in public and make us all suffer for it.
What is something you will not apologize for?
Honestly, I don't know what we need to do in this situation, but someone needs to call K911. Do you think since they're role-playing as dogs, when the police would come to the scene and they're like, you're going to Pound Town, they don't know whether to get excited or run away? And they do have collars, but they don't have leashes, which is pretty weird to take your dog out in public without a leash. However, even if they did have a leash, I would doubt that they were service dogs. They might just be dogs that service each other, if you know what I mean. However, I will say that they probably work pretty well as a deterrent, because I would rather fight a pit bull than go anywhere near these two. So ladies, if you're out there and you're looking for a companion, you could always get you a fully grown man with a 5 o'clock shadow in a little yippy mask. Now, I know that we all say that men are dogs, and these dogs are literally men. Something tells me that they are not interested in you. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Ma'am, are you aware that there is a cage hanging from your face that would normally be in a dungeon hanging over a pit of lava? It looks like you just picked up something that would hold golf balls or something like that and just strapped it to your face. Not to mention, how fucked would you have been if you went to get coffee and they didn't have straws? You would have had to try to drink it and end up waterboarding yourself. And not only that, after you got done waterboarding yourself with iced coffee, you would get arrested for torture and animal cruelty. Sir, why are you staring into my soul like you're gonna harvest it for nutrients to feed the children suckling at your teats? First of all, this is not normal. Second of all, you look like Minecraft Steve with an emo swoop who is dressed up like a skinny Peter Griffin. You look like you're about to harvest me for my energy like the Skrexies in the Dark Crystal. And she doesn't get off easy either, because she looks like you just face swapped with her and put a wig on.
Wally.
Can we talk about how weird it is that you're gonna age regress to a state where you're supposed to be supposedly young enough to not have proper motor functions, but then you're going to put yourself on the internet as a child with a lower cognitive function? You don't think that's a little bit strange, just a little bit problematic? It's not good. No one wants to see it. Stop pimping your children out online. Yes, I'm looking at you DID fakers and Ren Eleanor's mom. Get your fucking kid off the internet. Why are all these trying to be cute? Is there not like one gothic agiri out there? Instead of a blanket on the ground, they put down a pentagram of salt and start talking about some Azarath Metrione Synthos? But since none of you have the originality to be a goth agiri, I'm going to start the trend. I just need some salt and somebody to cosplay as a raven that will sit on the tombstone that's above my head as I sleep, talking about some Azarath Metrione Synthos. I mean, call. Let me know if you're interested in the position. We're hiring immediately.
Hey guys, so first episode of the ABCs of Kink is going to be abrasion play. Now this is a type of sensation play that takes something like sandpaper or a scrub brush or one of those bristly kind of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The scrubby sponges, and applying it to the skin. If you ever skinned your knee as a kid and just kind of broke the surface of the skin, that's an abrasion. This can go as simple as just kind of that scratchy feeling. Sometimes it can break the skin, but not always. Another form of abrasion could be, intentionally causing rope burn while taking one of your bunnies out of their ropes. So if skin break happens, take some precautions as to not cause infection and have fun.
Excuse me? If I was tied up and any of you came near me with some fucking sandpaper, excuse me? I'd be laying there like, what the fuck are you about to do with that? We're gonna sand you down to your base layer and then send you in for a paint job? It's like, bitch, I drive a Camaro. I'm not one. It's like the reverse Buffalo Bill, but instead of him sending you down lotion, he's sending you 40 grit sandpaper. Sorry, no matter how much you try to convince me, I'm not replacing lotion with sandpaper in my nightly routines, okay?
Welcome to episode 4 of Quink of the Day, where I tell you about a quink and you decide if you want to give it a go. Today's quink is Claustrophilia, which is about as far from claustrophobia as you can get. Claustrophilia is the affinity for confinement and small spaces.
Well, that automatically rules me out because technically no space that I can fit into is going to be small because there is nothing small about me except for the things that matter in this type of situation.
And it falls under the umbrella of the B in that 4-letter acronym that starts with B and ends with M. Think being locked up in a cage while your partner toys with you from the outside.
Might explain the dog girl mask, not sure, not gonna speculate.
Or maybe you're instructed to crawl under the bed while your partner self-pleasures on top of the bed.
Now I must confess, I am a bed on the floor type of guy. However, if anyone wants to bring some box springs while we're setting up the Gothagiri baby crypt, I will be more than happy to use them.
There are lots of fun ways to explore this quink, and most of them involve power exchange between D and S players. So what do you say? Would you give it a try?
I guess, why not? Who wants to go spelunking? And before we get into this next kink, I want to let you know that this is cursed and I did this on purpose.
Here a definition about gerontophilia. Did you know it? Gerontophilia refers to a sexual preference for older adults or elderly individuals. It is a relatively uncommon form of sexual attraction, and is often stigmatized or misunderstood. Some individuals with gerontophilia may be attracted to the physical or emotional characteristics of older adults, while others may find pleasure in caring for or being cared for by an older partner. Gerontophilia is distinct from ageism, which is the prejudice or discrimination against older individuals based on their age.
You don't want me to discriminate against them, yet you use AI that makes them look like a humanized Rorschach test. Now all of a sudden me marrying that older man for his money doesn't look so good. The next one's for humiliation, and I don't really have to explain this one as you've been laughing at me this whole entire time, and on the inside I've actually liked it. That's why, ladies, I'm a little bit of a freak.
What's your favorite role play to do with your partner? I'll go first. An interrogation scene. In real life, I love gossip, so the idea of forcing someone to tell me their secret or being tortured to give a secret is about as exciting as it gets for me.
Who would have known that this whole time that they were just fucking on Law and Order? I mean, balls to the wall, cheek clapping, holy shit. Where were you on the night of the 3rd? Man, I ain't telling you nothing. Yeah, that's what I like. Man, you didn't read me my Miranda rights. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Ugh, Murder, She Wrote. Matlock. That explains the last kink. This person says husband is too vanilla but loving these ideas. Ladies, I'm gonna tell you something from the perspective of a man. We have been getting into arguments all day long. The last place we want to get into one is the bedroom. Trust me, I know, that's why I'm single now. Could you just imagine your significant other walks in like, who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? And you're just like, ugh. Do you even love me anymore? Because you never want to go out with me. You never want to do this. Why don't you ever want to spend time with me? You're right, babe, I'm coming. I will say I've got so many more of these jokes lined up. However, we need to move on.
This is the most common question I get as a Shibari content creator, so let's talk about it. Most people do Shibari for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's hot. Shibari is primarily an alternative lifestyle activity exploring power exchange, pleasurable pain, and unconventional expressions of love. Number 2, it's connective. Shibari is essentially a giant trust ball. We use rope to create extreme vulnerability with enthusiastic consent, of course. First, we take away your hands so you can't protect yourself. Then we take away your legs so you can't run away.
I'm sorry, I did not know the American police force was trained in Japanese bondage. Put your hands behind your back. Yes, sir. Now, I will say I have a lot of alternative people in this audience, and I'm pretty sure about 40% of you just looked this up. For those of you that don't know what this is, then good. You might just want to stick with Shibari. All I'm going to say about it is you're going to need to bottle up that hot water because it's about to be a shitty ride.
Trying 30 different kinks so you don't have to. Kink number 3. Now I get to choose again. Come on, anal.
That was like really hard. Out of breath.
Catotronophilia.
Catotrophilia.
Kafaramapa.
I can't remember what that means. I'll go look it up on the computer.
Okay.
Catotrophilia is the act of having sex in front of a mirror.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Can we do raw?
You want Mara? Okay, we gotta go.
Could you imagine being an immortal vampire with only one kink and this was it? I mean, at that point, would life even be worth living? But I guess technically you're a vampire, so you're not really living? Let me know. Apparently there's a special interest in like dry ice or fog or something steamy, and it's called nebulophilia. The good news is I couldn't find anything about it on TikTok, so here is the descriptor. Nebulophilia is a lesser known that involves arousal induced by fog, steam, dry ice, or smoke. There's been very little research into this you-know-what, but individuals who are nebulophilic might have a personal connection to these elements in their past. Perhaps they were turned on by a theater performance with fog machines. Like, could you just imagine driving on a foggy day, bricked up, and you get into a car accident and have to explain it because the blood's in the wrong brain? Like, I don't think that this one is real because no one was catching a chub in the middle of chemistry class when the teacher brought out the experiment with the dry ice. Then again, you never know. It would explain why my teammates in League of Legends never play well. They're exploding in their pants because they never put a fucking ward down, so there's nothing but fog of war everywhere. Just put a fucking ward down. Now that everyone knows what these things are, you are free to partake in them in your own home. Don't bring it in public. Don't post it online, you weirdos. Welcome to the petting zoo.